Buongiorno guys, welcome to the incredible island of Murano. Today we're going to discover one of the most incredible glass blowing factory that is situated here in Venice, or better, in the island of Murano itself. Think about that approximately 800 years ago they moved the entire glass blowing production from the island of Venice for fire problems, but even to keep the secret into this incredible spot. Today we're going to have an extremely special guest that is going to be our Marco Berengo that is going to take us in Berengo studio. So it's going to be an amazing adventure today. Here
Hello
we go.
everybody. Hello everybody. Hello guys and welcome to Murano. And now I will show you our studio, our company that started in 1989. And the idea of my father at that time was quite interesting because he started to invite contemporary artists that most of the time they were visual artists, painters, sculpture, and we gave them the opportunity to use glass as a new medium to express themselves. And now let's go to take a look at the gallery.
Let's have a look at that. I'm really
Yes.
curious to see this glass blowing factory that I've never been, and this is going to be an incredible adventure.
Well, first of all, we take a quick look at some of the artists we have here in the gallery. And this is the work of Massimo Lunardon. He's an Italian artist. And as you can see, he created this quite spectacular, he calls the aliens. And well, I must say that all the people that see this sculpture at the first view, they think that are metal sculpture. But they are definitely glass sculpture. You know, these pieces are quite unique because the artist, Massimo, that is a glass blower itself, he create, the pieces in few steps. For example, first he create the head, then the body, the arms, the feet, and then he melt all together when the glass is hot. But at the very beginning, the piece is totally transparent. Then he used a very particular technique where he put inside what we call the silver nitrate. It's a liquid that touch all the part of the sculpture inside. And when it dry, it become like a mirror in a way, So it's quite particular, the technique. And, Massimo always told me that he get inspiration from the Japanese manga, the comics from Japan, And he came out this personage that is very unique and particular, and we are very happy because he's having a great success.
But Massimo Lunardon is from where exactly?
Massimo, he comes near Vicenza, in the area of Marostica. And he's a glass blower himself, so he made these pieces by himself, and he collaborated with our studio. This is a particular artist because the 90% of our artists, they are usually painters, But he's an exception. He made the pieces by himself. They are quite
amazing collaborations, actually amazing pieces.
Yes.
Once that you come here, it's like the dreams that they're coming true. It's like Cinderella Castle or anything similar.
Okay, now if you want, we can go to see the furnace. And because today we are working, we have a couple of projects. One project is the work that we are doing with an artist from Finland. Her name is Soile. And unfortunately, the artist is not present because of this, terrible moment of the COVID. But we are working with her already a few years, and she sent us the drawing, and Andrea, our glassmaster, know her work very well.
So they develop everything together via web,
Exactly.
and these kind of things.
Exactly.
Zoom and this kind of beautiful platform.
Yes, using the technology, is very important for us, especially in this moment.
Yeah, even if it is a really ancient work, the technology is probably helping a lot sometimes.
Exactly, yes. Ecco, this is our glass studio, and now we will see our master, you know, that, well, first of all, I wanted to show you the drawing. This is the original project for the creation of the sculpture that we are making with soil. And now we will see Andrea that, you know, they are preparing now the background color of the sculpture. Maybe we can go there to take a quicker look.
How hot is the glass at this stage, and how hot is inside
when
of the furnace?
When you enter in the oven, we arrive at 1,200 degrees Celsius.
Right.
And you know, when the piece come out, it has about 100 degrees level of difference. You know. Now he covered just the bowl that we just saw with a layer of transparent glass, as you can see, and
what is going to produce? What is coming out from this glass bubble?
and now, you know, he's preparing, you know, a part of the sculpture. Vero maestro? Questa che parte di scultura stiamo facendo adesso? This is the central part of the sculpture that, you know, now you cannot see the color, but this is a light blue. It's incredible.
It's hard to believe, actually. It looks red, of course, but once
Exactly.
that is drying up,
Yes.
the final result is totally different.
This is one of the particularity of the glass, because when it's very hot, you cannot really understand the color. When the temperature go down, the color start to come up. This is an aquamarine, a light blue, and is the central part of the sculpture that we saw in the drawing.
How many hours do we going to need to finish to complete the entire sculpture?
Well,
more or less.
This is a sculpture. It takes 2.5, 3 hours, and but the entire process is about a week, because today, when they will finish the sculpture, then the sculpture will go in a specific cooling down oven. It's a particular oven where the piece has to stay for 2-3 days, and where the temperature will go down slowly day by day. You know. Now the assistant of the maestro is preparing the basement of the central part of the sculpture.
Wow.
And then the maestro will intervene, you know, making the more difficult part, you know, for the creation.
How many years do you need to become a maestro, a master of glass blowing?
To become a master, usually you need between 15 and 20 years.
Wow, it's definitely a long time,
It's
and a lot of testing and broken glasses
exactly.
along the way.
This is to become a glass master is really an important job, and usually all the glass masters, they do this job because of the passion, you know. This is in a way is an hard work, because it's a physical work. You have to work in front of the fire for several hours, but the most of the glass masters, they do this job because they have a specific passion for this material.
But do we have any young that they wants to become maestro, or the youngs they are quitting this kind of job because it's too tiring, too hot?
Well, yeah,
not easy.
that's a nice question. You know, unfortunately nowadays is more difficult to find a new glass master. In a way, we are lucky in our studio because we have two young glass masters.
lucky
You know.
you.
Well, let me introduce Andrea Iniqua. Andrea is one of our master. He's 48 years old, you know, and he's one of our youngest master, you know.
Right.
And well, anyway, he's you know, Andrea is already 5 years that collaborate with us, and pretty soon we will see him in action. You know.
Oh, great!
doing
That's
the piece,
exactly
doing
what
the
we
piece.
want to see. But look at there.
Yes.
Something's coming out. We are
Yes.
starting to see a little form.
This is a
Something
very-
starting to be created.
This is a very interesting technique, because what they do now, they create a kind of balloon where they will fill the empty part with transparent glass.
Amazing.
So it will become a mass of glass where you will see only the outside color that will be aquamarine, but inside there will be transparent glass. Now it's going in our what we call mother oven. It's our big oven where inside we have only the transparent glass, what we call cristallo, you know. And as you can see now, it fill up the mass of of glass, full of transparent glass.
Yours has been an incredible life, actually, being together with all these artists, being together with all this incredible maestro. That has been pretty exciting.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah. I'm very lucky because
like Peggy Guggenheim, more or less, in a way, if you want.
Well, you know, the Peggy Guggenheim, to tell you the truth, is a very important person for our history, especially for our company, because especially in the 60s, you know, Peggy Guggenheim, at that time, she understand the potential of the Venetian glass, and she started to invite artists in Murano.
That's pretty much what we are doing now.
Exactly.
Same idea.
So I'm following, you know, the idea of Peggy Guggenheim. You know, at that time, she invited to Murano artists like Chagall, Picasso, Max Ernst, that was also one of her husbands, and Henry Moore, and an incredible number of famous and important artists. You know, she collaborated for about 15 years. You know. And at that time, together with an Italian man called Egidio Costantini, they created La Fucina degli Angeli. That was an incredible experience, but after her, nobody really continues. So we took the idea, and now it's 30 years that we do this job, inviting contemporary artists.
It's more like a heritage that is going to be continued through the centuries, actually.
Exactly.
And that is just brilliant, because at least we're not going to lose that kind of piece of history. And having Peggy Guggenheim just around the corner along the Grand Canal in Palazzo Venier dei Leoni, having her here, that she worked here, is just fantastic.
In fact, if you go to the Guggenheim Museum in Venice, that as you said was her house at that time, still now there is a room dedicated to the daughter, Peggy. On the window that face the Grand Canal, there are 20 small little glass sculptures designed by Picasso, and that are always there. They never move from there, you know. So that means that was an important part of her history. This exhibition, this collaboration in glass. Let's take a quick look of what
without
Andrea...
getting burned from the flame.
Yes. So deve stare un po' più in quadro così. Yes, now Andrea started to shape the central part of the drawing of the sculpture that is in aquamarine, in a light blue. And it's amazing that from a mass of glass, you know, you will be able to create this kind of geometrical form.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
So, you see,
which has been the most I know that all the pieces that has been created here are all incredible. Yes. But the one that you like best, or you got a special love with that specific piece?
Well, it's very difficult to say, because you know, in all this year we create a lot of incredible collections.
They're like all babies.
Babies, yeah, you're right, you're right. Well, let me tell you something, Igor. I will show you now one of the new baby that is just born in these days.
Andiamo, I'm really curious to have a look.
Follow me one moment, and I will show you something special. Here we see Nicola is another master working with us, you know, and Nicola followed this project. Look at here. This is a project created by a Belgian artist. The name is Koen Vanmechelen, and this is the idea of a sculpture chandelier. It's already more than a month we are working on this project. This was the original drawing, and now I show you
How it's gonna be the chandelier? How big?
Well, it's about
Wow.
2 meter, 2 meter 20, 2 meter 50. This is some part of the sculpture chandelier. We start to assemble the piece. As you can see, there is a metal structure, you know, that support all the pieces, and all the pieces they are blown because they need to be hollow, so that give the possibility to the metal structure to pass through them in a way, you know. This is was an incredible long work because, as you can see, it's made by a multitude of pieces, you know. There are several segments that will be attached all together one by one.
The question again, how long do you need to make such a big sculpture?
This is already more than a month we are working on this project. We take a look, for example.
By the end, you think that they're gonna need 2, 3, 4, 5 months?
A couple of months, I will say. And this is part, a little sculpture that will be part of the installation. As you can see, you know, at the very beginning, this is in black color, a black like this one.
Right.
But then we sandblast the sculpture with a special machine. So, and at the end it's not finished because we will put a specific silicone oil. So you will have a very special matte, you know, color. You know, it will be not lucid, but so it's not finished yet. You know, but it will be a very particular.
Well, that's for sure.
Sculpture.
Actually, but every piece, it look really particular here in this place.
And this piece was done by
Where is going to end up?
Nicola.
Into a family.
Well,
is
we
going
are
to end up
presenting these pieces in Rome in next summer. Next summer. Oh, look now, the central piece start to grow up.
Chiedono di vedere più il lavoro del maestro.
Okay. Now we are back here with Andrea, you know, and he's still working in the central part of the sculpture. As you can see, glass is a fluid material, so they always need to move, you know, otherwise the piece will fall down, you know.
In the meanwhile, we change the person who is rolling the glass. It's a collaboration.
It's a collaboration. It's indeed a collaboration. This is a teamwork.
It's more like a dance than a teamwork. That it seems that they're all dancing while that they are producing everything. Sorry that we are always in the middle.
Yes. Now he's shaping the body of the work. See here, he start to shape the piece to create a more geometrical, you know.
Marco, is still the aqua marina, this one.
Yes. You see how amazing it is, because you cannot really see the color, you know, because it's very hot.
So we started with that big bubble over there. Now
you
we
see
can
on
see
the
the
floor,
aqua marina on the floor.
On the floor is a piece of the same part of glass that cool down and come out the color, you see.
But it's amazing how quick is getting the form, the shape.
Yes.
That we started with something that it was nothing, and now it's becoming a piece of art.
Exactly.
Amazing.
It's amazing how he's able to model, you know, the glass, and we are here working at a very high temperature, you know. The glass arrive at
Just
1,000.
remind us the temperature
Yeah, we
again.
are 1,200 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Inside into the oven, and And you know, every few minutes you always need to bring back to the oven the glass, because you always need to keep a certain temperature, you know. Otherwise, if you keep it too much outside, you know, you can have a shock and the piece can break.
Cracking down.
So this is by the experience of the master that he need to know when he need to go inside into the oven again.
But about the tools,
Yes.
are we still having somebody that is producing these tools?
Yes, definitely. Here in Murano, you know, there is a couple of places, you know, where they make fantastic tools. As a
Wow.
matter of fact, that there are people also coming from all over the world, you know, that they may be working glass in some other place in the world, but they come to Murano to make the tools, because we have some fantastic, you know, artisan to do that.
Beside of the artisan, we got the knowledge and the heritage and 1,000 years of history.
Exactly.
And preparations, experiments,
Yes.
and testing.
Yes.
And
Definitely also the tools, you know, of course they are very important, you know, and
but with the tools, how is working? You got a specific tool to do the chandelier. You got a specific tool for
Definitely.
the sculptures.
yes, yes, you know, each technique, because you know in Murano, you know, there are several techniques, you know. For example, we are specifying in creating sculpture, free-hand sculpture that can be blown or massive. In this case, this is a massive piece. It's full of glass, you know. So there are some tools for this technique. Then there is some other glass studio that make chandeliers, and they use some other tools, you know. So each technique has its own. Now it's very interesting because you start to model the mass of glass, and you
seems
start.
that it's cutting everything like butter. It seems
It looks-
everything's so easy.
It looks like, but it's very hard. And especially it's very hot. So the glass master, they need to be careful not to touch the glass also, you know. And
Amazing. And so at the end of the day, somebody was saying, oh, it's not only chandelier, it's not only little horses Murano, but it's mainly sculpture and incredible masterpieces of art. And so behind of the glass blowing factory, we got more and more and more incredible pieces.
oh yes. Yes. Here.
Possiamo andare.
Okay, now we go back. I show you a little bit part of the gallery, and I let you discover some artists that work with us.
How many artists, how many pieces
Oh.
do you have in this gallery at this moment, more or less?
Well, you know, it's first of all, you know, in 30 years of work, we have the possibility to work, well, more than 300 artists.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Amazing,
It was incredible.
Amazing.
And then in our gallery, you know, we always, you know, do exhibition and change the collection, you know. Let's go to take a quick look here in this part of the gallery.
But it's like the Biennale of glass coming
Well.
in this glass blowing place in the Berengo studio. It's wow. It's
Well.
shocking.
Here, for example, this is a very interesting artist. His name is Albert Vanakker. He's an artist from Belgium, and he mainly works in stone or marble, as we can see here in one of his books. Here there is some example of his work, and he mainly do marble sculpture. We can see two different profiles, but when you put together the two profiles, they create one face. So it's a little bit the concept of the duality of two persons, that when they are together, they become one, you know.
The yin and the yang.
The yin and the yang, exactly, you know. This piece in particular is quite interesting, the story, because it was done 2 years ago. In November, we had a terrible day in Venice when we had a big high tide, and the artist, you know, he was a little bit shocked because he never saw such a high tide,
The
you know.
situation was dramatic in those
So
days.
he
How much
said-
water did you get in the studio?
Wow, well, we were lucky here because we are quite high, but on the street you cannot walk. It was full of water everywhere. So the artist, he want to fix that moment, creating this piece and dedicate this piece to the high tide. As you can see, this part represents the water,
Wow.
that almost arrived to the mouth. And so this is it's a very interesting piece with these two different blue colors, Then he developed different technique. Here we can see we called avventurina.
Wow.
And the quality of this color is that it's almost glittering. As you can see, when you put a strong light, it's like a stardust. It's very special, this piece. Or this one, where he used the gold leaf.
Wow, wow.
This is real gold leaf melted inside the glass. And, glass live with light. It's very important, to illuminate. If I take this piece just to show you, for example, and I put it here, where we have some part of the sun, you see how beautiful is the reaction between light.
It looks like totally different, actually. It looks like a totally different masterpiece of art with the lights on. It's creating amazing...
Light is really very important
Wow.
for glass. It's a quality that you need to have when you add a glass sculpture. Let me introduce you another artist. This artist is Italian. His name is Luigi Benzoni. Here we see an original painting. He usually do this kind of very powerful faces, and then he translate the faces in this technique where he use also the gold leaf, but in a different way, because here the glass master attach the gold leaf on a background color that the artist choose, but then the artist, when the glass is hot, intervene and he start to make the drawing on top of the gold.
Wow, amazing.
So it's like that he engrave the gold, but he need to be quick. So it's a very instinctive drawing. So after he finish, the glass master immediately cover the piece with a transparent glass.
Stopping the moment with
Exactly.
the glass.
Encapsulate the image forever, Sometimes I define like an action painting in glass,
Pretty much so.
And once again, these pieces, when you put a strong light, you have a fantastic effect, on the gold, and you create a contrast between the background color and so this is, for example, an artist that we are working already a few years together, and he developed many different techniques, This is another piece with a similar concept, but a different technique, while instead of draw on the gold, here with hot glass, he start to make the drawing on the face just with the hot glass.
Amazing, amazing, actually. Before that, we were saying exactly like Peggy Guggenheim, this is the perfect final result 40 years later.
I wanted to show you an artist. He's originally from France. His name is James Coignard. You can see these pieces here. On the background, there is a graphic work. It's a very special technique called carborundum, where he worked with very thick paper. This is a limited edition, but if you take away the number, it looks like an original painting. It's such a very particular, this technique. In fact, this artist in the 80s become very known for this kind of graphic. And I speak about this artist because in the 60s, he was working with Peggy Guggenheim. And he was the only artist that he was the link between Guggenheim and us, So in the early 90s, we invited him to Murano, and we did a beautiful collection with him.
So basically, he designed all the pieces and he helped you out, or a maestro from the Berengo studio helped him out? How everything worked?
Well, in this case, he is a painter. He came here in Murano, and he created the original drawing for the sculpture, and then the glass master translated in glass for him.
Amazing.
But
Incredible
the artist was always present, and he, during the creation of the piece, he followed the glass master, and he tell how to follow, what to do.
Giving a special touch of everything and adjusting
exactly,
the maestro.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, now he passed away. In fact, these are very old pieces, that we did maybe 15 years ago. And but he's an artist that for us was very important. And I always remember we did a fantastic exhibition in our gallery where we published also a beautiful book about him. James Coignard, great French artist.
Amazing.
Let me show you something upstairs. Oh, look how beautiful now with the light.
No, it's just
the
fantastic
piece.
actually, that the transparency
is great.
and the optical effect against the table is just unreal.
Incredible. Wow. I wanted to show you now an artist from Spain. He's upstairs. We dedicate a room for him. Ecco qua. Here we are. Look this installation. Look at this.
And so check it out that everything is changing again. It's another room and the entire situation is completely different. And coming inside of the Berengo studio is just shocking because you never know what is coming out in these rooms. It's like, wow. And at this point, it's even difficult to say which one is your favorite piece of glass in this place because they're all amazing.
No, these are incredible. This is all these personage, created by Juan Ripolles. Ripolles, that is 89 years old, he was a pupil of Joan Miró, the great master from Spain. And in fact, I must say that you can see the influence.
You can definitely see actually the little figures,
in some of his work.
You can definitely see that
and,
as being affected.
As a painter, he always use very bright colors. And, coming to work in our studio, he find this color also in glass.
Wow.
So for him, it was a special experience.
Easy to make such a bright yellow or bright orange.
Exactly. This is one of really of our characteristics we have in Murano, that we are able, to create a variety of colors,
The magic potion of making colors. Amazing.
In fact, it's true because, each glass studio here in Murano has his own kind of secret formula, to create their own glass, So, for example, also in our studio, we have a person in charge that every 2-3 days, he mixes all the minerals, and he creates the color that we need, But some of these pieces are very particular. Look at this one, for example. This is called the Little Warrior, El Guerrerito in Spanish, and this is a piece that is double-sided. So you can see from both directions.
360 degrees, amazing.
Okay. And here we can see some a painting about the artist, and also a graphic work. And also the graphic is very special because he intervened in his bidimensional work also using glass. This is some little glass powder that he attached on the thick paper. It is a kind of Chinese paper, So also in his bidimensional work, he was influenced with our Venetian glass. But I'm very happy because a few years ago, the city of Venice invited him to create an incredible exhibition. This is a book about that experience. And Juan Ripolles, he presents 10 monumental sculptures all around Venice. This, for example, was near Rialto Bridge. This was in the Grand Canal.
And so he built it up, he created all the sculpture.
This was made in Spain, they are in bronze.
And then they brought them in Venice.
He bring it to Venice. But at the same time, he created an original drawing, and then we created the glass sculpture. So at that moment in our gallery, we had an exhibition with the glass, And outside in Venice, on the street, there was these big pieces.
Wow.
It was fantastic because it was for 6 months. And after Venice, the exhibition moved to Verona. But I wanted to show you this piece, the bull that is also the symbol of Spain. He was able to create it in bronze. Look at this piece, fantastic. This was the bronze, and this is the glass translation.
Fantastic.
You can see the power, in the position. It's so powerful,
ready to
this.
fight, ready for the corrida.
Exactly. So this is an artist that we like to work with him a lot, and these are all pieces very joyful, pieces that put you, a little bit a smile on your face.
Happiness, absolutely.
Happiness,
That's
exactly.
what you're getting
Yes.
once that you're coming here. The little dwarf, little people that they are happy and cheerful.
He created also a totem pole, thinking about the culture of the Indian American. This is the creation of Juan Ripollès in glass. Is a totem pole, and this piece, once again, it became a double-side piece.
Wow.
So you can move it, and you can see from two different parts.
That is all the pieces here. They are so unique. That is amazing. You don't even know where to look at. And
Thank
so
you.
Need several days to understand. Several years to understand the part of what you're doing. Actually,
Thank you.
It's just shocking.
Thank you. And
Guys, I hope that you are enjoying as much as we are doing actually, and we're going to have other episodes so we can discover more and more. Don't forget to subscribe in our channel. Just click on the bell so you're going to get noticed when we got new videos or new live streams on. But if you're happy with what we are doing actually, even tell us what you would like to see about Venice and the Venetian Lagoon. That we're going to be really happy to give you a new point of view of the Venetian Lagoon and Venice itself, of course.
well, at the last piece I would like really to show you is an outdoor piece I have downstairs, and is a sculpture that is the artificial glass bamboo. I would really like to show you downstairs. If you want,
Let's go. Let's have a look.
Let's go to take a look.
But
It's
I saw even a squirrel entering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That it looks, or a whale on the way. Here is always difficult. That everywhere you go, you don't know where to look at. And what about this piece? That I might have seen it in Venice in the San Giorgio.
This is a prototype that we create with Sean Scully. He's an artist originally from Ireland, but living in America. And he was, during the Biennale, he had an exhibition in the San Giorgio Island, especially in the church, where he presented a similar sculpture, but in bronze, painted. And then he came to work with us. This was the first prototype. In reality, the piece is much bigger. This is the artist that you saw before. He's an artist originally from Poland. Her name is Marta Klonowska, and she created this very particular animal in glass.
It's a new concept of the mosaic.
Exactly,
probably.
yes. In a
3D.
way, she developed a little bit the idea of the mosaic, but more in 3D. So she cut thousands and thousands of glass flat pieces. Then she created a metal frame inside, and she attached one by one with silicone.
Wow.
It's a tremendous work, and but she's
Yeah,
able.
Always my question is, how long do you need to make such a piece? Actually,
you need few months to create a sculpture like that.
Imagine, actually.
She always took inspiration from very old painting, and for example, the squirrel that we see, it come out from this. This is a painting. This is a replica of a 17th century painting, and you see in the middle there is a little squirrel. So she get the idea from this work and she always liked to present a bidimensional piece next to his sculpture, you know. So
Amazing, amazing. That at least you know exactly where everything is coming from.
did you see the fish? Wow, the
Wow.
fish is incredible.
With the light, it's gonna be even more interesting if you got the rays
Right.
of the sun that is
She
projected.
create also
Wow.
this system with a metal structure that you can moving 360 degrees.
Incredible.
Let me show you. I want to show you the bamboo. I think it's a genius sculpture. The bamboo is a piece created by an Italian artist, Pino Castagna. Look at this. It's great.
The
Well,
colors,
first of all,
the lights.
it's not only an outdoor sculpture, but this is a sculpture that become a sound sculpture. Look at me. That's amazing. Of course, you know, there is a trick because inside there is a stainless steel structure, you see, that support all the elements. Each piece is blown individually, one by one. There are about 300 pieces in each sculpture, in each bamboo. And the artist, he did a big experimentation on the colors because he mixed glass powder and sand of iron to get this kind of contrast between the color, you know, and the iron. So during the day it's beautiful. When the sun touch them, you know, you
I
create.
believe even the wind, when it's winding,
You
is
do the
like
sound
clink,
a
clink,
little
clink,
bit
clink.
like the real
Wow,
bamboo
wow,
in a
wow.
way, you know.
A very oriental idea, oriental state of mind, and
Very
calm
interesting.
down and all
Yes.
these things.
The artist did also the small version, you know, and it's the same concept, but in proportion, you know. The pieces are smaller. you know.
Unreal, unreal.
This is also a way to create a big sculpture because, of course, in glass you always have some limitation in terms of material. But in this way, putting one piece on one on top of the other,
can just
you can
extend,
go
yeah.
higher and higher in a way.
Anyway, if it's all stainless steel, actually at least it's going to hold everything up without problems.
We did a big project
Wow.
in Rome for Montecitorio in
See?
our Italian parliament. There is a bamboo 5 meter high
Wow,
that is in the permanent
amazing.
collection. It's fantastic.
Something like this. Which color is
In
over
blue.
there? In blue.
It's a blue cobalt. It's a very dark blue.
Italian color. Amazing, Marco. This has been an incredible adventure through the Berengo studio.
Thank you.
I never saw anything like that. So guys, I hope that you appreciate where we took you today. Marco has been our man today.
Thank you very much.
For
Thank
any
you.
kind of question, we're open, and so drop us an email, drop us a message anytime, no problems. We are going to be really happy to help you out to understand a little bit of our heritage and our culture. Ciao e grazie. Ciao Marco,
Arrivederci.
grazie.
Ciao,
Ciao,
arrivederci.
ciao.
Ciao.